Hey everyone, welcome back to Callie and Beans Books. I'm Brittany, and today I have my top 5 adult romance reads of 2020. And I know I did my top YA fantasy of 2020 last week in no particular order. This week I do have a top 5, so I will be ranking these ones just because it was a little easier to do with the adult romances, even though I enjoyed all 5 that I'm going to be talking about. Kicking it off, of course, is Undercover Bromance by Lyssa K. Adams. This was a 5-star for me. I absolutely adored this story. We follow Brayden and Liv, who we are introduced to in Bromance Book Club. However, we're not set up to particularly like them. So it was a little difficult for me to actually get into the story a little bit because I wasn't really set up to like these characters in the first one. But in this one, we dive into who they are as characters. We get to know them a little bit better and know what made them the way they are. So I absolutely adored this story, getting to know them on a character level and then seeing how they evolve into the friendship and then romantic relationship that they develop as well. It does cover kind of a hard-hitting topic. It covers workplace sexual harassment. So that is kind of a content warning for everybody. If you do plan on picking up this series, it doesn't really touch on a lot of hard-hitting topics, but this one does. It does touch on workplace sexual harassment, and it's not graphic by any means. It is tastefully done. It's just, it can be a little intense. So I did want to mention that. However, that was one reason why I did really enjoy this story, was the way Lyssa K. Adams wrote the story and wrote those scenes. So it wasn't intense, but you still got to understand what was going on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I really did love this story, getting to know Liv and understanding her more on why she is not such a likable character and why she's so protective of herself and her sister. So I definitely enjoyed it, and getting to see all the guys again. We didn't get as much of the Bromance Book Club. I feel like we should have gotten a couple more scenes, but it got the job done and it was so well done, and I do look forward to reading the next one. I love them and I can't wait to continue reading on in the world of Bromance Book Club. The next one I picked up was also a 5-star, and that is The Good Luck Charm by Helena Hunting, and I loved this story. I really enjoyed getting to know the characters. We follow Lila and Ethan, and it's been, I want to say 8 years since they're falling out of their relationship. He went off to be a hockey player and hockey star, and she stayed in Minnesota town to pursue being a nurse practitioner. So I absolutely adored their backstory and them getting to know each other all over again after 8 years of separation, because Ethan's father ended up in the hospital that Lila works at. So it was really nice seeing their reconnection and getting to know what happened and seeing how they tried putting the pieces back together. Definitely enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed the adult scenes, and it's definitely explicit. I will say that. It's not the fade to black that some books have. It's all out there, and it was another aspect that I did enjoy, but it was not the number one reason why I loved this story. It was definitely getting to know Lila and Ethan and their relationship. That was just an added bonus. I thoroughly enjoyed Helena Hunting's writing style and picked up one of her other books, but I will mention later in this video, and can't wait to continue reading her stories just because everything was so well done. Coming in the 3rd slot is Intercepted by Alexa Martin, and I also gave this a 5 out of 5. This follows Marley, who is the perfect girlfriend. She tolerates everything that her star NFL wide receiver boyfriend does, including pushing off an engagement for 10 years. And she understands, it's not the perfect time, waiting for the contract, waiting for the records, things like that. But eventually she finds out that he is a sneaky man and hid a lot of cheating from her. So she ends up leaving. She's like, I can't tolerate this. This is one thing that I will not tolerate. So she leaves, and she's like, I'm done with NFL players. Fair enough, right? Well, one man that she had a fling with years ago pops back into her life, and she didn't realize it was the quarterback of another team that it was recently traded and signed with the team that her ex-boyfriend plays on. And he comes to her rescue in a very embarrassing situation, and that is Gavin. And they start talking and becoming friends and start developing more of a relationship. And she was very hard set on not falling for another NFL player. And then one thing leads to another, and they're striking up this really fun relationship, and things are going great. until there's a big miscommunication and a big situation that she was not ready for. And normally I don't like miscommunications or lack of communications as the big conflict of the story. I'm not going to give away what happens. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of spoilers, but there is one situation. It wasn't necessarily just lack of communication. It's also based off of the lifestyle. So Gavin makes a big life decision without consulting Marley, makes it a surprise. She finds out not from Gavin, and that's what causes the lack of communication and the conflict. So it's not necessarily just the communication aspect. It's something much bigger. It's a life change that she wasn't ready for, and that's what causes the relationship to spiral. Of course, there's a happy ending. All adult romances have a happy ending, and I love the way the ending was written. Totally enjoyed Alexa Martin's writing style. I did pick up her second one in the universe, Fumbled, which I enjoyed not as much, and then I do plan on continue reading the other books that are coming out or are already out. Coming in fourth is a recent read for me, and that is The Right Swipe by Alisha Ray. I gave this a 4 out of 5. There were aspects of the story that I absolutely adored, and obviously it was one of my top reads. I actually just finished this like a week or so ago, and it really helped me get out of my reading slump that I've been in for about 2 months. So I absolutely adore this story. We follow Rhiannon, Rhi for short, and she is the CEO of Crush, which is a dating app, which is one of those swipe left or right dating apps, but it's designed for women. When you log in and you create your account, you can actually decide if you're looking for platonic love, a hookup, or if you're looking for the one. And I absolutely love the concept of this, and she's going to this conference. She basically wants to purchase what I would call eHarmony. It's the company that was the mother of all dating apps, the one that you have to fill out this huge questionnaire to see if you're the right match for somebody. In my head, while I was reading the story, I considered it the eHarmony, where she had something similar to Tinder, but a little less gross than Tinder. Absolutely adored her character. She's very tough as nails, hard as stone, but she also has a soft side. So I absolutely adored her. And then Samson comes into the picture as well, and that is the love interest. They do meet and have this beautiful, amazing one night together. Rhi breaks her rules and says, yes, let's meet for a second night, and he stands her up. And she doesn't know why. She blocks him from her phone, unmatches, like, no, we're never talking ever again. Well, he pops up back into her life, and they come to a business agreement instead of a relationship. So we get the business side of things, but then we're also seeing her chip at that wall, letting her guard down and really getting to know him more on a personal level, and still doing the business agreement as well, which I found really intriguing. And I really loved the friendship aspect of the story too. We get to meet some side characters that are super important for the story. There was a little bit of a twist that I was not anticipating right at the end that was awesome and so well done. And I fell in love with Alisha Ray's writing style. The only thing I didn't like was we're introduced to Rhi's best friend, Katrina. And that was a part where it didn't really reach that 5-star level for me, is because we get hints that something tragic happened to Katrina, but we don't know what. And I felt like we were left hanging. I didn't realize that Katrina got her own story, and that is next one in the universe called Girl Gone Viral, which I'm super excited to pick up. I didn't realize that when I rated this. So it is closer to like a 4.5, 5 for me, because there are companion novels to go after The Right Swipe, but I did really like the way Katrina was set up as the best friend who has a mysterious past, and I can't wait to continue reading and find out what that past is. So coming in 5th in my top 5 for adult romance is Me Cute by Helena Hunting. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I normally don't put 2 books by the same author or 2 books in the same series or universe on my top 5. However, I couldn't resist. This was definitely one of my favorite books of 2020. That's why it made the list. It is a standalone from The Good Luck Charm. They aren't in the same universe, so that is why I chose this one instead of Romance Book Club. I wanted to make sure that even though I repeated authors, I'm not repeating universes. So in Meet Cute, we follow Kaylin and Daxton. Daxton is a former actor that Kaylin actually crushed on when she was a teenager, and she fangirls out when she runs into him on the first day of law school. And she's like, you know what? No, it's fine. Everything will be fine because I will never see him again. Lo and behold, he's also going to law school. So they are stuck in the same classes for the next 3 years. And they develop a friendly, competitive relationship where it's not romantic by any means, but they flirt together and they're competing against each other to be the top dog in law school. And Daxton portrays her, and that's why she holds this grudge against him. That comes to light again 8 years later when she finds him in her office with his parents looking for professional advice and creating the trust fund for his kid sister, Emmy. And tragedy hits and Dax finds himself in guardianship over Emmy, so he seeks out Kaylin's help to kind of navigate these new waters that he finds himself in. They agree on a professional relationship, and one thing leads to another, and Kaylin finds herself falling into more of a personal relationship with Dax and Emmy, and she's trying to stay neutral. She's trying to take steps back and not be in this conflict of interest, especially when we run into a situation with Emmy at school and they have to kind of be the parents, but it's really hard when they're not parents and not actually in an official relationship. So that is one thing that it was really interesting because it was completely different from anything I've read before. And I thoroughly enjoyed how Helena Hunting sets up the romance and sets up the relationship, and also sets up the relationship between Kaylin and Emmy. I really did enjoy the dynamic between all of the characters and the conflict resolution. It was so well done and definitely made my top 5. Helena Hunting will now be one of my go-to romance authors. Her most recent release, Kiss My Cupcake, was one of my anticipated reads of 2020. Actually just picked it up yesterday when I went shopping with Callison and Sarah, and I am so excited to read that story. I just love everything about Helena Hunting's writing style and definitely can't wait to read more from her. So that's my top 5 adult romance reads of 2020. I definitely enjoyed dipping my toe into this genre a little bit more. Can't wait to keep exploring it next year when I jump into some of the novels that are sitting on my shelves and picking up more from the same authors. There's Girl Gone Viral by Alisha that I can't wait to get my hands on. Continuing with Lyssa K. Adams' Bromance Book Club reads. Also picking up Helena Hunting's next, Kiss My Cupcake. I'm so excited to read these books. So be sure to subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Hit that little bell icon to be notified when we do post new videos, and head over to Instagram and Goodreads. All of our accounts will be in links in the description below. Until next time, guys. Bye.